Hey everybody, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for joining me for this media recap process video. If you'd like to see what I'm going to do, stick around. Hi friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for joining me for this video. I really appreciate your support on my channel. Today I'm going to do a recap of all the media we consumed, or I should say I consumed, over the month of July. So I'm going to be using products from my Grabby scrapbook box that, if you missed, I did an unboxing of their August scrapbook subscription box, and it's really awesome. There's amazing products, really great quality, and I thought it would be perfect for doing a summary page in my media journal. I have pulled the items already from the box, so I'll link that video below in case you're interested in checking it out or you missed it. I do have a code for you if you purchase anything from Grabby. It's Gen C15. So I'm going to be using a bunch of these little stickers. I have this washi here. It's like white with like a very subtle green grid. Then I have these little tags, or like, I don't know, papers, I guess. These die cuts in craft paper of different types of butterfly designs. And then some papers that are very thin and perfect for not adding too much bulk to your journal. And I'm going to stamp August recap at the top. I just want to do a quick share of what I consumed, and then I will speed up the video and complete the process page while I do a voiceover. So this is kind of how I do it. It looks crazy and it's always quite cluttered, but I like having it all to look at and reference if I want to, especially because I like to put my favorite read of the month. So last month, it was The Women. And then on the 4th of July, we watched The Sandlot with Nora, which was super special. Absolutely love this movie. It's a total classic, cult classic for me. I'm an 80s baby. So this, I gave a 4-star rating. And it was just so special because we were watching it and there were like fireworks going off outside. And it was, Nora got to stay up super late because we were on vacation. And so, yeah, it was really cool. The River We Remember was a recommendation from my friend Lauren, and I gave this 4 stars also. I thought it was really good. There's like a murder that happens, and the main character name is Jimmy Quinn, and they assume that the main suspect, is Noah Bluestone, who's a Native American World War II veteran, but he's a Native American with a Japanese wife. And this is very shortly after the war. So of course, there's like a lot of the town, and it's a small town, dealing with their feelings towards who they think is the suspect. And so, yeah, there's definitely touches of like, talking about racial profiling and what it's like to have like an interracial couple in a predominantly white area through their perspective. Like I said, without being super like, in black and white, this is what it's like. It's very, very good. It talks about how, like the war affects widows and their children and what they have to do after they're, no longer reliant upon their spouse. It deals with grief, a lot of grief. So I mean, I really love this. The genre for it is like fiction, mystery, historical fiction. So I would recommend this book. I listened to it on audio. A lot of times I think I should have read the book because I retain information better, but that's not always something I can do because I spend so much time crafting and creating that I have to have something to listen to. And I do find that I miss sometimes and have to go back, especially if my attention is like focused elsewhere. Oh, and I use just like stamps, various stamps in my stash. I almost always use a Tombow or a Mob Liner brush pen. This one's a Tombow. This is some washi I got from Studio Calico. And these are just some random stickers, washi stickers from a sticker book I have. That's linked in my Amazon storefront. We watched Despicable Me. We binge watched these because we wanted to go see Despicable Me 4. So you probably, I mean, even if you've never seen it, they're some of my absolute favorite movies. So I gave the first one 4 stars, the second one 4.5, because I love the introduction of Lucy and kind of the exploration into like the girls as they're growing up. And then I was listening to Demon Copperhead on audio, another one I kind of think I would have benefited more from reading, the hard copy. This is my favorite book of the month. It also won a Pulitzer Prize, so it's pretty good. Very, very dense. It was tough as an adoptee for me to read. So it's basically he's a boy born into a teenage single mom in a trailer situation. He doesn't know who his dad was. He died when he was young. He becomes orphaned because his mom, dies of an overdose, and he goes through the foster system, and it's in the South. It's loosely based off of Charles Dickens' David Copperfield, which is a book about his own experience as a survivor of poverty. It reminded me a little bit of like East of Eden, or like a John Steinbeck novel, like a classic historical, keep it in the literary canon type book. I really, really enjoyed it. So I gave it 4.5 stars. This washi is from my stash. I think this is from Robin's Planning Nest. I have more of these like washi stickers from that sticker book. I use my Tombow here and some Versa Magic chalk inks. That's all I use in my Tomoe River paper. And then different gel pens for the writing. My husband and I just decided to watch this on a whim one night. Love it. Haven't seen it since like it came out. So we were both like rewatching it together, and it just like, it was super late, and we normally don't stay up that late, but we couldn't stop watching it. So I gave it 4 stars. And you've probably seen it, but I'm not going to spoil it for you. And then, of course, Despicable Me 3 and 4, and 4 we saw in the theaters. Loved it. Oh, I didn't rate it. I didn't color the rating in. Okay, I would give Despicable Me 3 probably 3 stars. It wasn't my favorite. I still liked it, but it wasn't my favorite out of all of them. And this one I would give 4 stars. The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, I listened to on audio. That was another one that came recommended, and I gave it 3.5 stars. I appreciate the like vantage point of society during this time period. I said the unique yet similar experiences of several marginalized people groups. I think since I listened to this on audio, much was lost on me with the characters. It could be challenging at times to keep them all sorted in my mind, but I thought this was excellently done and very interesting. It's a 3-part story. And then lastly for the month, I read The Connollys of County Down, and I gave that 3 stars. I did not really like the ending. I felt like there were some unfinished storylines, and in the middle, I kind of was like, meh. The beginning caught me. The middle, I felt like I was kind of snoozing a little bit, and then the end, like, really snowballed, and then it was just, like, over. So I hate when that happens. So I gave it 3 stars. Okay. So that's all I have to capture on here. I just like to summarize what I read, what I listened to, and what media I watched, and what was my favorite. So I'm going to put you guys on fast forward and do a voiceover for this portion of the video. All right, so I totally screwed this up, but I didn't want to edit it out because I wanted to keep it real and just show you guys how easy it was to cover this up. I was going to stamp July recap, but for whatever reason, I was stamping August, probably because of that little tab that I created there with the sticker that says August abbreviated. That's probably what did it, but who the heck knows with my brain, honestly. So I decide to put the paper, like torn up paper, in the top left corner and then the bottom right corner, which originally I had wanted to do it the opposite way, but it's fine. It's gonna work, and no one will ever know different except for you guys who are watching this shenanigans of a media video. Thank you so much for being here. So I am going to cover it up with this paper. I tore it a little bit for more of a vintage vibe, I guess. And while I do really enjoy the way this turned out, I feel like I could have done something different. I don't know what it is about these recap pages. They don't always turn out the way I would like them to in my head. Like, I'm not sure if I put too much pressure on myself and I like psych myself out, or what the world is wrong with me. But I mean, not that anything's wrong with me. Okay, well, there's things wrong with me, But as far as creating these recap pages, I feel like I just always have this like vision of what it's going to look like. And then I start creating, and when I'm finished, I'm like, I mean, it's okay. Like, she's cute, but she's not my favorite. You know what I mean? Anyhow. So while I was rambling on, I decided to add the washi layered over the top of the paper and then bring in a couple of these craft die cuts, which I think are so cute. I really, really like that they came in the grabby box. That box is ridiculous, by the way. You guys need to check out. If you missed that video, it's bananas because it has so much stuff in it, and it's really great quality and very versatile for lots of different projects. So anywho, once I get those, so I'm kind of like layering and making sort of, I guess, clusters on the top left and then the bottom right. And now I can do what I was supposed to do, which is spell July recap, because that's what I'm recapping. July. August isn't even here yet at the time that I'm filming this video. So today is actually the 31st. But the way I usually do things, like, which kind of I ran into it being a bit of a snafu this month. Usually I will, like, whenever I finish the, whatever it is I'm reading or watching, that's the month it goes in. So like if I were to finish, The Connollys of County Down August 1st, I would put it in August to be read. But I feel like that's kind of a silly rule I have, because I think it should go in the month where you do the majority of the reading or the watching or the listening. Does that make sense? So we started out the month binge watching, well, I guess not started, but after we got back from our like crazy whirlwind of a vacation to Michigan, we started watching the season 3 of Abbott Elementary, which we love, but then like life got busy and all that kind of stuff, and we haven't watched it in a while. But there's only a handful of episodes left for us to watch. So I feel like I should have put that in July because we watched most of it in July. I don't know. I would love to know your thoughts. It's obviously not in July, so it's going to end up in August, but you know, it's these are the big life-altering choices we have to make as content creators and planners, right? Just kidding. JK. So what I decided to do, and I didn't edit much of this video, like the process part of this video, so if you just see me like pausing for a minute or like, I don't know, it looks like nothing's going on, I speed the video up to 4 times, but I might be sitting there thinking about my next steps. Just throwing that out there. So I'm going to use the 3 like ticket pieces of paper to write my reading, listening, and watching. But I'm going to put it in past tense so that I have a little, like, so that there's less letters on that paper, because that paper is very narrow. Excuse me. So you can see, I'm going to stamp red, but then when I get all of those stamped, then I can move on to writing in the titles of all the books. And I actually decided that I should have put it across 2 lines. I knew I wanted to like, and I could have redone it, but I decided not to. Stickers around each of the columns. It's just going to stay the way it is. But I did know, by the way, that ink stickers down first a Versamagic chalk ink, and like I said at the paper down, that's all I use in. I end up taping the columns down first in this Ink notebook from Create with Pen, because it does also have Tomoe River paper. I just want to add the icons underneath each of these brand titles, because that's the same. Those are the same icons I use throughout the media journal itself to notate what type of media it is that I am consuming. So the headphones are obviously for listen, watch is like that YouTube, and then these outfits that I'm using are an influence from Milani Scraps, who if you're not following, you should Red is a book. Now technically, watched should be divided into 2 separate columns, because one was going to the movie theater, which is a separate category I have her planners, and it's the Sophie Alphabet set, this media journal for this year, where I broke it down into like different types, like podcast, book, audiobook, movie theater. And this is only the 2nd movie we've gone to see in theaters this year, and I thought it'd be interesting to track that, so I wanted them to be separate. So technically it should have its own column, but it was just one movie, so I just threw it on the with the other movies that we watched at home. And then I'm just gonna draw a little bit of a shadow box with my Tombow marker, just because I felt like it. It doesn't, I don't know that it adds anything. In fact, I don't think it looks very good. But again, it's one of those things where, you know, you have this idea and then you do it and you're like, meh, not my fave. It's okay, it's life. So I'm just gonna use both ends of this Tombow dual brush pen to do some lettering for the books. It was really nice because I only read one hard physical book in July, so I had all this room to kind of, you know, letter as big as I wanted. So that was the Connollys of County Down. Then I decide I want to have bullets, and rather than using what I typically use, which is my Zig Clean color dot marker, I decided to pull in some of these little dots from the scrapbook kit. So I cut them up. I hardly ever use these for anything, so I figured, you know, this would be a good use of them to just kind of notate each different title that book that I watched, or movie that I watched, and book that I listened to. Good Lord, words are hard. So I'm going to letter all of those in. And I realized that I think I don't normally do a voiceover for these videos. I feel like I usually just play music and let you guys enjoy. So I apologize for switching it up on you. If you're someone who follows me regularly and you're like, wait a minute, I did not want to hear your rambling, I apologize. But also, you could just put me on mute. So I'll go back to doing just music next month if you guys want. That's totally fine. Let me know what you prefer. Do you like it to music, or do you prefer, you know, hearing my spiel? Which, by the way, I forgot to say, like, some of the products I was using. So when I glued the die cut butterflies down, on the first time I used my Tombow mono adhesive, and it's great, but it did get in the little cracks and stuff, and it sticks to the Tomoe River paper, and it's kind of annoying to get off completely. So I ended up using my Zig two-way glue marker to do the one on the top left, and that worked out much better. Also, the dots are, I wrote the numbers on with a Sharpie pen, like an extra fine tip Sharpie pen that I bought by accident once, and they've come in quite handy. The stamp that I put on this piece of paper that I'm lettering on now, which says my favorite, is an older Paper Person Shop stamp that you can no longer get. And what else? There was something else. Oh, the guillotine that you saw me cut down the paper with is I think it's, gosh, I don't even know. Oh, it's a Fiskars. See, I was going to say Tim Holtz. No, it's a Fiskars. Sorry for the noise. I just had to, like, look at it. So now I'm going to go through these stickers. Again, all this stuff is from the Grabby box. And decide what I want to put where. So for me, it's more like auditioning the different stickers to see how they look. Like, sometimes I feel like, I don't know, the shape, I'm just trying to create shapes and clusters, right, on the surrounding each of these columns. So it's pretty much whatever my eye is drawn to and likes the look of, if that makes sense. So I don't like, for example, how boxy that sticker looks with the clipboard. So I'm going to remove that. And then I do like how the hydrangea looks, kind of peeking outside of the border. So I'm going to trim these down and then basically just add a bunch of like greenery and florals and stems or whatever to the right side of this column so that it looks like they're kind of layered underneath. And I like the way that looks, and it also fills in some of that white space there, because y'all know me and white space are not best friends. And it's so funny, this little craft knife that I'm using is like the cheapest little thing. Like, the barrel of it, if you will, is like hollow plastic. But that freaking knife on the end, that blade, is so sharp that it's like really easy to control and manipulate. And it came for free with the washi sticker book I use all the time. If you follow me, then you know I use a lot. And actually, I mentioned it earlier when I did a quick flip through of what I had read already. So anyhow, I came for free with that washi sticker book because you have to trim everything out by hand. And it's my go-to now, which is just, I think that's kind of funny. Anyway, I'm about to finish up here. I just have to add a couple of things on the bottom and then fill in the rating for my favorite book. And the last thing I do is decide that I need to outline the titles of each of the categories. So read, watched, and listened. I really hate that I chose to do that because I just think it makes it look even more jumbled and messy. But I had already started doing one, and like I said, I was not going to, you know, do it over or whatever. I'm just going to leave it in. In hindsight, I think I should have just left it, or maybe even used like a different gel pen, but maybe not the black, which is very harsh. So that's, you live and you learn, right? And that's going to be it for this quick and easy media process recap. If you've got questions about anything I used, feel free to let me know. I tried to mention everything, and I will put a direct link to the Grabby box in case you want to check it out. No pressure at all. You know, wouldn't earn any commission on it or anything like that. It would just save you some money if you decided to purchase it. And yeah, I think that's really it. So let me know if you guys are reading something that's super amazing right now, because I'm always looking for recommendations. Currently, I just started First Sly Wins by Ashley Elston. So far, so good. I literally just started it yesterday, so we'll see how it goes. But do me a favor and like this video if you did, subscribe if you're not, and make sure you hit the bell. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, my sweet friends, and remember that you are enough. Bye.